Hey guys, welcome back to World End Economica. My name is Fuds, and on Sunday, Hagano and I slept. We slept as much as possible. I gave detailed instructions to Lisa that she was to keep out anyone waiting for us for such good news on the situation. On Monday, everything was on the line. For that reason, we rested up and to recover our strength. That was all we could do. Saturday night we slept, and Sunday morning we got up to eat, and afterwards we went back to sleep. I wasn't sure when Hagano crawled into my bed, but I didn't think much of that. I was fine with it since Hagano was relaxed too. In any case, we slept and slept. As if our two bodies had fused together, somehow we slept. First, if someone knowing when exactly to wake up, we both of us woke up at the same time and found it was just the start of Monday at midnight. Hagano and I looked at each other. I wasn't sure which of us woke first, but for a brief moment, Hagano and I both held our breath. The feeling of our lips touched was softer and sweeter than anything in this world. At the same time, we said nothing. Instead, we decided, with little trouble, what to do after we got up. Carlisle Investment. As Hagano sat at her chair, she said that we were while starting up a terminal. I wondered if it was Hagano's way to get energised. She grasped her hair like she was going to curl it, and then brushed it before letting the beautiful black hair down flutter. Yeah. My words, Hagano brought up the stock information. This then? While looking, sitting next to Hagano, I squeezed out each word. Short sell it. Hagano said nothing. Instead, she opened up a program, and putting all her effort to supporting me, she started manipulating and calculating figures. Barton pointed out this stock while mentioning that it would be raining on Monday. On top of that, suddenly there was news about rain. Without a doubt, it was insider information. And with regards to this company, there was some bad news flowing. Someone like Barton would have some connection to many hundreds of companies. He'd certainly be listening in on thousands of people and what they had to say. Especially since Monday comes right after a weekend when bad things are prone to happening. There have been situations such as Superior CEO taking one of his company's own manufactured bikes and riding it off a cliff to his death. Naturally, a company losing great leader would lead to a stock hitting a lower variable price limit. You would know what would happen. That is why there are many cases of price drops on the day before the weekend. Everyone would close positions that were in danger of any risk. Given that, this is probably the best company then. As the name suggests, Carlisle Investment was an investment company. Whether it was securities, real estate or commodities, if it could be traded, we were dealt in it, with a lack of any real fidelity. There were no accurate details from them on. Based on that, it was unclear if anything might happen. Annual earnings were not stable, with one reaping in enormous profits for next year. Take a big loss, it was common for them to say that they were making consecutive large profits. That's why, for a gambling enterprise such as them, they drew out those who enjoy gambling. Even on Hagano's program, it displayed jaw-dropping price fluctuations. Terrible company. So it seems. But it really is sensitive to trading. Looking at the screens from the side of Hagano, I could see a collarbone. The word sensitive actually gave me a bit of a jolt. I felt like smacking my head for being an idiot, while Hagano tilted her head with a question mark over it. Huh? If we're to sell it all once, I think it will drop. That'll be good enough. We only have one day to trade after all. If it drops at that time, it was good enough. But, will this really work? She asked worriedly. I suppose anyone would be in doubt if I wanted my head was head on straight, but I suddenly came back with high spirits and declared that I knew which stock would drop tomorrow. On top of that, I didn't clearly understand what information I'd received, as most of that was certainly grounded in insider information. Since I was a minor, I didn't think I would be judged by the penal code, but if I did get caught, then most likely I couldn't return to a normal investment world. There's no way I would get caught. Odds are that I wouldn't get caught. Frankly, there are much more worse things happening in society. I will undertake it. In God's name. Hagano frowned. You can laugh. Imprudence. I thought it was rather an arrogant word for Hagano to use. But this is difficult. Difficult? Yeah. Will the news come first thing in the morning? But that wouldn't be in time. I couldn't make money if it was shop floor orders entered before trading. Barton would have known something like that. If that were the case, it may come right after a middle of trading. Thinking of normal terms, your best of the start of trading would coincide with the commencement of full-strength selling. However, instead of wild price fluctuations, Carl Investment's day-to-day trade volume was low. Compared to the funds I wanted to trade with, trade volume was overwhelmingly low. This was a return to a last-aim investment contest. There was a large sell-off, and buys would be so low, and naturally volume would drop off. For example, if you sold 700,000 Moors worth of stock, valued at 1,000 Moors a share, if buy orders at 1,000 Moors a share amounted to only 10,000 Moors in total, my order would clear at a lower price. If liquidity were low, a price would move due to your trading. It was possible for a price to hit close to the daily limit for a price drop. Not to mention, it was more likely a case after negative news came out. I would be at my wit's end if, right after selling, the daily limit price drops was reached. In the end, in theory, all that could be done was to sell it bit by bit, and my worries and misgivings about it, but time continued to move unabated as the market opened. In order to not cause the buyers to scatter, we sold off shares stealthily. For a big drop, it had to happen after we sold big. Garner was not aware of this insight. Carlisle Investment's starting price was $10.72. At the start of trading, it didn't move for the most part. It wasn't because of the news or any major changes in the market either, so no one could say it was only natural. First we sold 10,000 Moors worth, I'd wait 10 minutes. For 5,000 Moors worth, I'd wait 5 minutes. I don't know when the news was going to come out. It was putting my stomach into knots. Garner was fidgeting next to me like she wanted to go to the toilet. Quickly, if I was going to sell, I'll have to sell more. But I continued to use prudence as I sold. Doing that through the morning, I sold up to 220,000 Moors worth. At this point, it was the highest trade volume amount in a month. Most likely, people should take notice on the net. How much left? 500,000. This is taking forever. The news didn't come out during the afternoon recess, and the increase in volume was soon detected as people started to gather. Buyers lined up and they gathered funds, and sellers other than ourselves were lining up in orders as well. Alongside the afternoon opening, pretending to take advantage of a sell-off, in one stroke had a short sale of 70,000. As if pressing some elastic rubber after making a slight dent, the buyers came in and the price returned to its starting point. Logically speaking, there was no reason for the price to drop, so buying did not seem that strange at all. Holding my eagerness in check, I ignored the other sellers this time. After 30 minutes I sold off 50,000 Moors worth. There was still half of it remaining. The price fluctuations held in place miraculously with little change compared to the previous day. The time had just reached 2 o'clock. Was that time for the news to come out? Or could it be that it wouldn't arrive until after trading had ended? I didn't really know what business news would come out. There was an announcement of a settlement of accounts. The announcement was made after the market closed in the case of companies trying to cause chaos. But frequently that information got leaked to journalists who publicised that information, and I had hoped that wouldn't be the case here. No matter what time the news was announced, hopefully it would be that. With something like a bolt out of the blue, it may be appropriate to say God only knows. After that I sold 40,000. It crossed over a halfway mark. It's a strange feeling. This is my first time trading like this. At Garner's words, I looked up. The living room was as it normally was, but she was right up, but it did seem weird. She said she didn't really want to watch how things were unfolded today and stepped out. Due to that, perhaps it was too quiet. I don't know. Is this trading? She asked. She was probably less talkative due to the unbearable tension. Yes, it's a method of trading I'd seen in Newton City. Another buy appeared, and 10,000 Moors were sold. Another selling appeared, but as expected, the buyers became unsteady. Perhaps the pace was a little bit too quick. I thought for a moment. Hey, Hal. She called my name and looked at me. She gazed at me. What? Are you going to leave here? You're going to talk about this now? To be clear, I thought that, but Hagana might have been the most important matter. If that were the case, then I couldn't just ignore it now. I looked at the computer back while nodding. Or rather, in exchange for following him, he shared out a bit of information with me. Garner was a bit speechless. It occurred to me that I chose my words incorrectly. Garner had been sold off on Earth. I know, but what I learned from him, when I turned to leave, he stood up and told me that's what he told me. Another 3,000 more sold. The price dropped, then returned quickly. He said, Godspeed, young one. The key to winning the future is in your hands. I really was happy about that. It was a place people could see, not mentioned in a cafe or a high-class hotel. She's a really good person. More than Lisa. She'd asked that. Compared to Lisa, where we're genres are totally different. Genres are totally different. Genre? Like a gender or something. During the time I was talking, another 70,000 more had sold. 510. Due to a rate of a price drop, soon it would be within range. Although buyers retreated slowly from Battlefront, they did not lose their fighting spirit, and the stock price would continue to resist at 1064. That should have cut off buying. Because he's a male? Yeah. Well, that person were a female. You shouldn't ask a straight question like that. I thought I chuckled a bit. What's so funny? Nothing, if he was female. Talking about female of Barton did make me laugh. That were a case and Lisa. Really? She sighed in relief. What was all that about? As yes, Yana said it quietly. I don't want you to leave. She didn't hesitate. It was one of those two possibilities. Either she'd hide her emotions or she wouldn't. That couldn't be effective. I can't. As entered, 80,000 was sold. Expected the buying side was now agitated. The price got over the 160 wall. Nevertheless, everything was agreed at 590. All was left was 130,000. For the sake of your dream? She'd asked. Right. Lucky. Hagana quietly looked at me. It was almost like a child would. I want that toy too. Hawaii said that to me. But it wasn't the right sort of place for Hagana. I remember when Barton turned down my request for funds. That was not a righteous route. If possible, I wanted Hagana and Lisa to never know such a place like that in their lifetimes. It'd be good if you had dreams of your own. I prepared for a 30,000 more sell order. Hagana grabbed that hand. What is it now? You certainly aren't going to find that dream in my hand, you know. I said it without a strange smile. Hagana's face stiffened. What? It's here. Huh? It's here. She repeated herself like a stubborn child and squeezed my hand. The screen showed the beginnings of a tug-of-war between sellers and buyers, with advantage tilted towards the sellers. The explosion in trade volume was persistent offers. We're beginning to draw people in who were suspicious that maybe some sort of negative news was going to come out. I didn't know when we were going to announce the details of stocks, not restricted by the main news outlets. If industry or into the media were to make an announcement, there would be a possibility that an announcement would happen at seminars to gear towards institutional investments. What both had in common was that at that moment, wherever that announcement was made, it would then affect the stock prices. As what it was normal to wonder if such information may come out, where one would at least expect when there's a chance of turbulent price fluctuations. The sellers were on the offensive. Now was the only time to sell, but it didn't move. Though she seemed powerless in the grasp of Hagana's hand, I couldn't move much. There is... here. She said that. She looked up. Those weren't lightless dark eyes. They were powerful eyes that sought out one's hopes. I want to... She honestly withstood the urge to cry as she said it. Live in peace with everyone. The lunar surface was a place where people had the wildest of dreams. It was a place where many people drifted but couldn't even enjoy the bare minimum of happiness. Hagana was one of them, and this girl's dream was to live in a peace with everyone. It was so unnatural, but simultaneously so difficult. Just searching through my memory, I could recall many examples like that. There were probably few people's faces that Hagana could remember. Her head was filled to the brim with mathematics, with no room for anything else to be absorbed. First on the list of faces was Lisa, probably, and my name was in there as well. I looked back at Hagana, and her face became strained as she looked downcast. Perhaps my face was one of those as well. Perhaps it was within reason to be able to live together with others, but to live in peace was absolutely impossible. Recalling how Barton Colonize into decline with a quest, it was very clear to me. Investors did not make their living investing. It personified people who lived only for investing above anything else. For someone like me, ignorant of ways of society, if I was to live that way Barton did, for starters I'd be well aware that dangers lay in wait for me. Betrayal and schemes, that was everything for people perhaps. Jumping straight into that world, I would feel insecure about being able to bask in the sun with Lisa in the garden on the third floor. I would think she shouldn't even be doing something like that. Being an investor was a lifestyle. If one wanted a warm milk and honey way of life, it certainly was not the path to take. I couldn't shake off Agana's hand and pulled mine gently from it. I must decline, I said softly, as much as Barton said it to me. I put out a 30,000 sell order. During a state of reduced activity, the price fluctuations reacted in response. Walls were 10s digits, 1050 scaled, going up to 1051 on all share. I'll make these profits and go to Schroding Street. The stock prices would drop a little by little at times, like someone losing their footing while climbing a set of stairs. 620 had already been sold, and at that point the profits were starting to reach 10,000. Honestly though, it was really only small change. I steeled my nerves, and I wasn't bluffing when I said I considered it a small change. My thoughts are with several tens, nay, hundreds of buildings and malls controlled the future. I would rise above that money and imagine gazing onto something else, someone else and no one else had seen. But just as Barton had said, funding those in need and collecting interest for a form of gratitude was something that a boring division of an investment bank should do. In that case, she uttered those words. Huh? In that case, make money. At the very least, make money. She was angry. But at that moment, I realised there was something to be happy about, even when her expression was angry. I'll make money. I'll make heaps. I returned my gaze to a computer screen. In my mind, the powerful figure of Barton was giving me a pep talk while standing on top of that cafe table. This series of why they trade on Schroding Street. It blew past everything, whether it was mathematical assistance or even intuition through experience. Insider? That wasn't it. This was an extreme way of trading that only humans could do. Agana's programs were certainly impressive, but there was no room for human judgment. Cold and sharp, it was without recall. Humans who used that no longer had a human dignity, as it was reinforced they should toss out the need to think. How? This is why Agana suddenly called out my name. My mouth laughed by itself. The falling stock price stopped from falling and changed direction. There was no rational reason why it dropped. There was no reason for it to go up at all. The atmosphere, so to speak. It's about the atmosphere. I rose up from the screen and my chest sucked in my atmosphere. It will work. No matter where. What was left in my hand was a 10,000 more sell order. 100,000 more sell order. My boys went out. The stock price was like the main character of the story, always getting up no matter how many times it was knocked down. As it got up unsteadily, 10.52, 51, 52, 53. In the fictional world, the bad guy would always kindly wait for the main character to stand up. But that was not true for reality. You'd take down who you could, when you could, completely. A similar believer would in philosophy with betting struck down mercilessly in one blow. 40,000 sold. You could almost see the face of a buyers on the other side of the screen after their fruitless efforts. The stock price marched down on its own, 52, 51, 50, and then it breached the insufficient defences. It continued down to 49, 48. This was a downward pattern. Advantage-seeking sellers came out. 46, 44, 41. It sped up. Even if there's no news, I'll get away with selling it all. Should have thought I made a full power swing with the remaining 100,000. How? A sharp voice stopped my hand. And right afterwards, the stock price stopped moving. It wasn't because things were entering a state of reduced activity. The moment I saw it, the glimpse told me enough. During trading, when a rather large order came out, we get stored up for a bit in order to stop an instantaneously large price fluctuation. It's almost like how everything in a cartoon goes into slow motion when someone uses a finishing move. And then, what got accumulated became something like a time bomb. But you knew it had a delayed explosion. At 10:38, like molten magma, a massive buy came. The total amount, 230,000, was like a massive meteorite slamming into a planet, taking everyone with it. And that amount continued to grow. Was the sell coming off? If so, I was going to make some buys. News later to Carlisle Investment still hadn't come out. Someone, angered by the views of the sellers of offensive, put out a buy order aiming to raise the price. As many expected the price to go down, just as many expected to go up. That's how market prices took shape. Agana clung to my arm desperately. This is different to a time during investment contest. This is real money. This real money was going to take a massive hit. The stock price crept up stealthily. An overwhelming amount of money pushed it up. We're using margin selling, so when the price went up, the profits would disappear. The people entering the buy order was surely aiming for that scenario, but I didn't glance at Agana as I quietly focused on the screen. I wasn't a bit flustered as I had Barton's information. This was important. If you wanted to have orders completely enveloped by orders, no matter how much the price went up, if it remained balanced Barton said it should, then it would hit the variable price limit. If it was a stock that seemed to be a strong gamble, then even a triple bit of news would be enough to cause its price to fluctuate wildly. Firstly, without a doubt, a limit on a price drop would occur. If that were to happen, more margin selling at higher prices, the profits would be higher in returns for cheap buys. For someone like Hagana, who built foundation maths, it wasn't a stunt worth trying. Each time the price suddenly crept up, Hagana squeezed my arm with even more strength. The price surpassed 1060, 65, 66, 65, 66, 67. It went opposite to how it was earlier, while also changing at a faster rate. As we exceeded our required funds, the losses were starting to appear. With stock price now at 1071, we were at plus minus 0 from the day before. It was this moment the sellers and buyers were both offensive and defensive, resisting each other. And then at that instant, the price started to climb up. Volume exploded and the movements became extreme as more people caught wind of the situation. I didn't panic. I was determined not to panic. But that was not the case for Hagana. How? Something's weird. Huh? It's weird. Why is it not going down with all that selling? Why do bad things keep happening? Was what she asked, like an innocent girl. She was used to misinformation. She has dealt with a lot of struggles before. She was used to it. That's why she was not used to thinking about what would happen next. Dealing with the outcome was my duty. While I looked straight at the screen, I answered. It's only natural because the news hasn't come out. The conditions for sellers and buyers is 50-50. But I know the stock will go down no matter what is necessary to sell early. She'd have had it drop first, but no one else knows the information I got hold of, so I resisted buying in response and went up. That's only natural. Didn't I say before that trading was like some rock, paper, scissors, where you saw someone's move beforehand? I'm kind of worried about Barton, actually. This one especially true for stocks which attracted gambling types. One would be used to such speculative movement. But she murmured she let go of my arm. And then slowly she went to a terminal and fiddled with it. She inputted the numbers on the program and looked at the initial calculations. I said it was impossible. But I told you this wasn't this type of trading, right? When the stock price went up steadily with a speed that was anything but slow, it was natural to feel pressure. But looking at Hagana, who relied on that program, I started to feel scorn towards it. For a program that relied on so much, it felt like an old run-down computer we could no longer use. And Hagana, who relied on it, was like a little girl who could talk to the horoscope of everything. It was clear to me she wasn't the sort of partner I'd want to trade with anymore. Give up already. It was difficult to see Hagana fall to that level, and I said without a thought. Then Hagana answered. This is all I can do. Her face was a mix of anxiety and nervousness. At my words, her face was not that of a cheeky girl who'd absolutely refuted me. Where's the news? It's not coming, is it? I could see through what she was implying with those reserved words, and I kept my mouth shut. The time was now 4 o'clock. It was late. But there was still 1 hour to go. How? Really strange. I don't know the price won't go down. I kept my mouth shut as Hagana continued. Where's the news? She asked one more time, but I had no choice but to respond. There isn't any. According to Lisa, Tayama would come at precisely 5 o'clock. He requested a bank employee was at friends with to keep the counter open a bit longer. According to his schedule, it ended at the same time as the trading ended, so with all the money on hand, will need to be withdrawn so a loan could be repaid. An hour to go. In 1 hour, all would be decided. Buy orders came out again. I thought about when I could hear the sound of Hagana's breath getting taken away. As if she was looking at a tilted glass of a table, her breath slowed as she watched the price fluctuate. I knew what she was thinking, stop, 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 as she prayed. But I believed Barton at some point I had clenched my fist so much it dripped in sweat. Was I an idiot? Right after I was criticised myself, the stock finally stopped at 1089. Hey, will it be alright? She asked once more. She was nervous. Right as I was wiping my palm, I responded, have some faith. That was all I could say. But the price hasn't gone down. Looking at any other period of time, its statistically result is... Calculation error? I said that to stop Hagana from repeating the same thing again. I was more surprised I interrupted Hagana with a pleased expression. I became aware that my tone had become stronger. You said there would be some errors in his calculations. I added those words to show that I wasn't angry. is true, and it must be that. Besides, it didn't say anymore. Hikana's program wasn't complete. It was wrong occasionally. Especially during the last trade to investment contest, Hikana's calculations were totally off the marks. In terms of a possibility, that was only natural. But this time, it's going to cost real money. There's real human cost and a large number of people, affected myself, Chris and a lot of others were at stake. If we failed here, a lot of people will be left out in the cold. So will we succeed? Will our foreign investment pay off? Will we be able to pay off the loans? Or will this really be the World End Economica? Join me next time to find out. Bye bye.